welcome back here once again, everyone. Now, last time around in Justice League number 75, I covered how DC killed the Justice League in a very uninteresting, could give a crap less type way. It was very underwhelming. Apart from the art looking not so bad, the entire story was just a complete and utter wash. So finally, we've gotten Dark Crisis number 1 of 7. Now, this whole thing is set up because the Justice League has died and they want to see what's going to happen, and the darkness is rising or something so, and all these other forces and whatnot. But what we get in this comic is underwhelming, uninteresting, and just plain ridiculous. Let me tell you let me go through this a little bit and see what I'm talking about. Now, with the Justice League having died, we open up with this page showing all the different superheroes across the multiverse and all throughout history at DC and thing. We have Superman and Supergirl, Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl, Aquaman and Aqualad. We have Flash, we have Green Arrow, we have the Green Lanterns, we have Martian Manhunter and Ms. Martian. All the different things throughout the years. Even that time, Dick Grayson put on that I can't really say what it was he was thinking with that Nightwing outfit back then, but it panned out pretty well in the end. And all the different heroes. We have the Justice League, and of course we have the Justice League. We have the JLQ, aka Justice League Squad. What they intend to push very hard for this, right? So we get this whole. It opens up with this very somber tone about this big memorial service for the Justice League having died, and in front of the Hall of Justice with all of their statues and thing, and people have lights and candles and stuff, and it's supposed to be all thing, and somebody's watching them from a distance. It turns out to be Slade, and it's softly watching them, and then quite literally very next thing, you don't even get a chance to say, well, okay, let's simmer in this sadness a little bit. No, all sort of madness is happening. Villains are attacking all over the place. Stuff is just going on. Brazen, bold-faced attacks again. Slade is watching all of them, and all of this is going on. And you get a bunch of heroes that you're really paying much attention to. We got some of the Green Lanterns. We have Frankenstein and some of them, from Justice League Dark, Katana and others. I think this is a bunch of other heroes you're really interested in. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan comes back, and it's the way he shows up is supposed to be very heroic and all of this stuff, and really thing to get it. And then he wants to know what happened with the Justice League. So they go there, and Black Adam recounts the story of what happened and how the Justice League died. Seeing the fact that Hal Jordan doesn't trust Black Adam is, pretty much a good scene, at least because he's the only one who seems to understand. Because let's be honest, Black Adam has caused him a lot of trouble over the years. He was a villain for a very long time. Decided to suddenly make him good for some reason, but so he doesn't initially trust him, and you can't blame him. He has every right not to trust him. He doesn't believe anything he said, and he's corrected to do that. Then we get to the worst, shittiest part of this story and what it's going to go forward with. We have Jon Kent, who wants to decide to form his own Justice League. And as time he goes in front of the statue of all of them there and whatnot, and to get inspiration and this or that. And this is where it starts to go downhill with Jon Kent. But it was going downhill to begin with him. He seeks out Yara Flor to try and get her to join his new Justice League. And you see his mentality with what's happening. Now, your father and the rest of the Justice League are dead. The world is in crisis and all of this stuff. And you're cracking jokes and laughing and smiling and, acting like, everything is supposed to be so great. And I kept saying again and again, this is one of the problems I have with Jon Kent. He has no freaking personality whatsoever. They just paint him with any brush for any time that anything is warranted for. When they need him to be upset like he was with Batman when he told him about his boyfriend being a terrorist or kind of thing, it comes off flat. This is happening now. He's grinning and making jokes. It comes off flat. Everything is just absolutely flat with this character. There's nothing to even think about. Nothing to be interested in. And he goes and Yara Flaw is all like, "Ha, you mean like me?" Yeah, no. She has no interest in joining his new Justice League. I mean, we all know it's a farce because she's going to have to end up coming back there sooner or later, but she has no interest in joining his Justice League at all, whatsoever. So he decides to go off to find Black Batman, Jace Fox, who is in New York City. Apparently, the Ninja Turtles have not kicked his ass yet, but pretty soon. Jace Fox and Batman of New York City, another failing of DC's comic books, another failing of it because nobody buys it. Literally nobody buys it. Why would anybody want to see a race-changed Batman? We have a Batman as Bruce Wayne. He is Batman. You literally took somebody. You understand? You not just somebody. You literally took a black man, put him into a Batman costume, and touting that as the greatest, most elaborate, most inclusive thing you've ever done. And nobody gives a shit to read it because people see it for what it is, which is what DC continues to do, which is gaslight and pander to a bunch of nonsense that doesn't make any sense. So he goes to New York City, same attitude. Let's be happy and grin, and I want everybody to join, and Superman needs a Batman, and he basically tells him, nope, I'm not interested. Screw yourself, and he's gone. Yeah. So then he goes off looking for literally the lamest set of individuals he could find to join his Justice League. I mean, we have he goes to Jojo Mullins, and she's all little busy. Yeah, can't do it right now. We know she's going to show up sooner or later. You understand me? He goes to Harley Quinn. Why in God's name, and this is a question I think needs to ask, why is it that DC seems to think Harley Quinn is still popular to anybody? Why? A lot of people dress up as Harley Quinn for Comic Con, a lot of people dress up for her for kind of Halloween or something like that. But when the character had a purpose, that's when people were interested in it. Harley Quinn was a villain. She did villainous things. People liked that about her. She was a wild child. They tried to reinvent her as some kind of anti-hero or something, which never works. We had the Harley Quinn TV series, which was popular for a lot of people watching, and they was thinking, they decided, okay, let's take that series, make Harley Quinn bisexual, as they say, but we all know it's gay. And they said to bring that over into the comics and figure, well, let's push that as a point and then make a bunch of ridiculous stories surrounding Harley Quinn that nobody's interested in. Nobody's interested in Harley Quinn anymore. But you keep pushing her into roles that nobody seems to give a flying crap about. And we have Jon Kent literally trying to beg people to join his so-called Justice League. You understand me? He gets a couple members. He gets Harley Quinn, Jackson Hyde, the other Aquaman nobody could care less about, Supergirl, Killer Frost, Damian Wayne as Robin. He gets them in there, and eventually he puts together a new justice, a new so-called justice that everybody could see is a waste of time. But the majority of these people are most likely going to die because we know this whole thing is leading up to the JLQ, the Justice League Square. That's what they want. So most likely it'll only be Jon Kent and Jackson Hyde that will make it through it. Then eventually the JLQ will have to come in and save everybody because that's what you're pandering to. That's what you're pandering to. Even get this really kind of weird panel in it where you'll see what they have a sign like, the end is near, death is meaningless. So we get that in DC Comics, that is pretty much meaningless. All that stuff, and people are all no more costumed heroes, Justice League of Death, and they died for. I mean, it's basically a whole bunch of activist nonsense that has no interest in this story whatsoever, at all, none. So he puts together his little new Justice League, and Black Adam pretty much tears it down because he tells it for what it is, a bunch of children, trying to play at something that makes no sense. Had you done something with Jon Kent where you had actually built him up as a character, I keep saying again, I said it before, so somebody before, I say it again. When Jon Kent was in with Super Sons with Damian, he didn't have much of a personality, in my opinion, because it just seemed like they had him as little Superman, waiting to just swap him in as Superman. You could have built Jon Kent up as a character. You could have done it. You could have built him up as a character, had him go through the motions of doing stuff, probably go through teenage years and school years and things while he's in school, have him grow up. You could have milked a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years out of that. I mean, they've done it for for these two, right? Ladybug and Cat Noir. I mean, they've done it for them, but they can't do it for Jon Kent. Decided to age him up and figure to swap him in as Superman, give him no personality, no nothing. You could have been building on his story. He didn't even need to be Superman. He could have forged his own destiny, decided to be his own character, his own person, started building his own team, have them gain some recognition, because that's what people are looking for, to see people who could actually aspire to something and actually interest them. No. But the people who should have really taken over after the Justice League is gone would have been like the Titans or something, because you have people like Dick Grayson, they keep trying to push Nightwing, they keep trying to push some kind of relationship between him and Jon that doesn't work. But Nightwing is pretty much like, screw it, I'm not doing that. I'm going back to Titans Tower so I can train Titans Academy, Titans Academy. So I can train a bunch of Titan recruits and have them on, doing trapeze act and all sort of stuff. Just to waste everybody's time. You should have stepped up, but no, this is what you're putting in there. And, it all leads up to Titans Academy getting attacked by Deathstroke and a bunch of other criminals, which is they're setting up already. I did a video setting up already that Deathstroke is going to pretty much kill the Titans. So we want to get rid of everybody who could step up, leaving only the JLQ. That's what they want. You even get this part where Deathstroke shoots Beast Boy in the head, most likely killing him. That's it, shoots him in the head and kills him. So the entire story was basically Justice League is dead. Green Lantern doesn't trust Black Adam, right? Jon Kent making an absolute fool of himself, unable to put together a superhero team because you are basically a waste of a character, a waste of a person, and a waste of a Superman. That's it. And then Deathstroke decides to attack Teen Titans Academy, and we all know that's going to lead up to him massacring all of them, right? At the end of it, though, story, though, we do get a little part of seeing Pariah and his whole, he wants to use the Destiny Justice League to destroy the multiverse because of what happened to him and all of this stuff. Alright, but by that point you really couldn't care less. Honestly, you really couldn't care less. You really couldn't care less. And like I said, leading up, the next part is Assault on Titans Tower. It's a waste. This entire story is just ridiculous. Seriously ridiculous. You killed off the Justice League in the most ridiculous manner, and you have Jon Kent running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to find something that he can't do. You're just wasting everybody's time. That's it. You're just wasting everybody's time with this entire ridiculous thing, because people who look at this will see it for what it is. Dark Crisis is nothing more than a badly executed, Ponzi scheme by DC to try and dredge up sympathy sales, because the entire line is just going down the toilet. That's it. That's the entirety of this, of the first issue of this dark crisis. Waste, utter waste. Once again, nothing about it encourages you to even want to see anything more. It's a waste of precious time and energy. That's it for me, people. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have a different opinion on it, I'd like to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.